Okay, in this video we're going to create a new document using a template. But before we get started, I want to show you one more thing. If I want to type in something like an address for a resume, for example, and I'm in Microsoft Word right now, you can see here that I have this extra blank space in between lines. Alright, so what I can do here is I can do Control A to select all. And if I go up here to page layout, you'll see that it's already got setting here for spacing 10 points after. If I take that back down to 0, everything lines up the way it should. So then I might, put the date, for example, February 13th, 2017. Put the next address, John Smith, 123 North Main Street, Ukiah, California, 95482, and Dear Mr. Smith. Alright, and now I have to put an extra enter just to get the extra space, but I prefer having that control over it. If I wanted to change this into a letterhead or something, I can. So I'm going to do Control A here and copy, and I'm going to jump down over here to my Google Doc, and I'm going to Control A and paste. So you can see now I've got my general layout still. Everything is the same, but if I wanted to open a new document here, what I can do is I can tell it to do a Control N for a new document, and notice that, oops, I guess I have to do it here now. New document. And inside my new document, I can put all kinds of, whatever. I can format it, I can add things, and if I go to my document, there we go. So if I go to Control N for my new document or File New, then I've got a lot of different options here. So for example, if I wanted to create an invoice or a newsletter or something like that, I can double click it. Now some of these are going to be different depending on the version of Microsoft Office you have, or if you're using Google Docs or something. But let's just say I want to have business newsletter. Double click it, it downloads it, and I start off like this. Volume 1, Issue 1, pick the date, and I can actually choose, like say the 13th, February 2017, company name. I can put like Mendocino College, for example. 707, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I basically start off with a template like this, and I've got the whole newsletter already. Alright, so that's a quick way to do this. Now, if I go to another new document and I go File, New, I can go down and you'll see there's a section here called Resumes and Cover Letters. Now, we can do those using a resume template, and that's what these are, is templates. And the problem I have with these is that sometimes they're so set up to be perfectly aligned and stuff that things don't quite fit, or they're not easy to edit. For example, what if I wanted to put my objective up here on the same line if I ran out of space? Well, so you want to kind of avoid templates where possible, although sometimes they do look pretty good. If you want to play with some of those, you can. And some versions of Microsoft Office had a great feature where, like, I could take this part here and just drag it off to the desktop and it would save a clip. Now, what was awesome about that is then I could just grab the clip and drag it back onto my Word document, and I would have my whole header and stuff already. What I recommend people do now, since that's no longer functional, is you just do a file, save as, and you call it like letter template or something. Alright? Or in fact, if you want to call it template letter, then everything will be alphabetized. You can see these are alphabetized, and I'll be able to look up all of my templates. Now, another good way of doing this here is if I do File, Save As. For example, I'm in the Documents folder right now. Maybe I want to have a folder. I'm going to do New, and I might put resumes and cover letters. All right. Then I go into here, and I can save things directly here. Now, the other thing that I can do here, in fact, let me go ahead and save that. So now if I go save it again, I can say, you know, letter to Walmart, for example. Now, I can save that right there as well. And that way when I go to my Control-O to open, it's going to give me the template or the letter itself. Now, that's handy if I'm ever applying, maybe I've applied at Walmart and now I'm applying at Kmart or something. I can use the same information. All right. So the other thing that's good to know is if you wanted to get super, I guess, anal about saving stuff, this one can be a folder called Resumes and Cover Letters. I can make a folder in here called Resumes, a folder called Cover Letters. I might even have something called, you know, Resume Tech, Resume Education, Resume whatever, and they'll all be different. I can also create a folder, like I can either right-click here and go New Folder, or I could have clicked the New Folder button up here. So this one I might call Employment Portfolio. All right, now I've got my employment portfolio here and my resumes and cover letters. I can drag resumes and cover letters into the employment portfolio. So now if I go to my documents, employment portfolio, I've got my resumes and cover letters. Maybe I've got, you know, sample projects or whatever, and maybe I have my interview questions and interview prep stuff and that kind of thing. All right. So the reason I suggest that people start organizing this stuff now is because a few years from now, you're going to have hundreds of documents, maybe more. And it's better to start organizing now than have to go back and try to figure out what everything is. And it's just a good idea. All right. So if I have this template letter here, I'm going to go ahead and drag that up to my employment portfolio. This is a way you can kind of figure out what you're doing and keep track of it. These other things could go into a business folder or, you know, whatever. But anyway, this is a good example, and you can import a lot of these things into your Google Docs. So, for example, if I was to go up here and go to docs.google.com, and you can see up here where it says start a new document, there's resume templates, there's letters, there's project proposals, etc. And you can actually browse through a bunch of other kinds of things in your templates. There's report templates, there's all sorts of things in here. You can also, like if I start with a blank document, for example, you upload and then select a file from my computer, I can jump over here to Documents, Employment Portfolio, Resumes and Cover Letter, Letter to Walmart, and you can often upload something directly to your Google Drive here, Google Docs, and it's kept all the formatting. All right. So either way, there's a lot of places you can get documents. You can go out there and you can download templates and everything else. So they both work pretty well together. And there's a lot of other, you know, word processing applications you can get out there for free. So please experiment and see what you come up with. All right. Thanks a lot.